Did you know that science is over a century old? I didn't think so. Science was first invented in 1872 by Professor Newton P. Science. Often called a prophet of order behind his back, Professor Science was not happy with the chaotic state of the world. There were no pulleys or levers, no set way for the human body to function, and especially trying was the fact that it was extremely difficult to drink due to the absence of gravity, something that you and I now take for granted. He couldn't even drink his problems away, for without science, alcohol could not be created. Professor Science knew something had to be done, and so he started into the studies that would eventually lead to the invention of science as we know it today. On February 29th, 1872, Professor Newton P. Science created the first prototype of science. Early attempts were crude and impractical. In the early stages of development, every action had an equal but not opposite reaction, and gravity would push up instead of down. Many to this day still float aimlessly in space. Science was never fully implemented. Over the years, Professor Science perfected his masterpiece, learning from his mistakes and theorizing on how to improve on impractical designs. From levers that made objects harder to lift, to chemicals that removed matter entirely, there were many mistakes along the way. There were many who condemned his efforts, calling him a heretic or a party pooper for trying to bring some form of order to the world. Yet despite his many setbacks, in 1883, science as we know it was complete. Once people saw the conveniences that came with science, it was quickly adopted across the globe. Today, it is now our global standard. Though some adjustments have been made, science has gone largely unchanged over the past century. The adjustments that were made, however, were made by the descendants of Professor Science. You may even know the names of some of these descendants, such as Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton, and Socrates. Though much has been set in place, it is still up to you to make sure that science lives on, is well maintained, and is free of fallacies. And now, we're learning science.